I'm Steve. With me on technically my left or right, whatever it is, doing an ABBA moment, is Mr. Jeffrey Emmett, who looks frozen, but he is alive. He's here.
I'm not
I'm
frozen.
not
I'm just a
frozen.
wop. Girl.
Welcome to Assigned Seating this week live again. This is our second time we've done this live, so I am well lit and ready to go this time without without internet issues. So that's exciting. But we thought we would drop in today. We do have a fallen comrade today. Vera was supposed to be joining us. Uncensored
Oh,
Vibes
that
Vera.
poor girl. She was getting a hickey from Kaniki and got the monkeypox.
Vera is not well today, so we are sending our love and dedicating this show to Vera because she's.
I'm just waiting for the comments in the chat room for her to pop up and be like, "You motherfucker!"
We are hopelessly devoted to V, as you know. As you know, we are hopelessly devoted. Hi, Lashana. How are you? Welcome. So today, in case you didn't guess or didn't read the post, we thought in honor of the passing of the one and only legendary Miss Olivia Newton John that we would have a bit of a discussion about. It's a classic. I mean, it's a classic. 1978's Grease. Grease. Who doesn't love a bit of Grease?
How airbrushed is his face?
Well, they're both pretty airbrushed. It's a cute moment for both of them, but I mean, I can't. Gee, do you remember the first time you saw this movie, Jeff?
Shit, I think you know what I think I had the soundtrack first, but I think I got it like for Easter or something on VHS.
Yeah.
I think was kind of my gig.
Yeah.
I almost think that I got Grease 2 first.
The controversial Grease 2, which we will talk about. We will talk about it. But
which I've got to say, if I had to pick which one I like more,
yeah,
it's Grease 2.
Oh, so a controversial opinion. If you're out there watching, you tell us which one you prefer. I remember growing up with this movie. Like, this movie just seemed to be in the culture when I was around, I guess.
Oh, it's always on TV.
Yeah, always on TV. I remember, this is going to date me very significantly. Our copy was on VHS, taped off the TV with the ads cut out, but on long play because I had Grease and Grease 2 on the same VHS.
So it was on like the 6 hour.
Yeah, so you just on long play. Remember you could go
the ESP or whatever.
Yeah, you could pull the little tab out and go, oh yeah, I could get double the stuff on here. And yeah, I used to do more often than not when I watch Grease. I watch Grease 2 straight after. So the two of them are like a package deal for me. But yeah, this movie was very, very prolific around the 80s and especially the early 90s as well. I mean, we had the Grease we were listening to the Grease Mega Mix before we started today to get us into the vibe. It's just
how
a movie
wild that she just passed away, and the storyline of Rizzo.
What?
And here we are with the abortion. Like, she thinks she's pregnant, and how traumatic that is. You know, Rizzo thinking she's not an abortion, but the fact that she thinks she's pregnant. You know what I mean? Like the storylines in Grease. And Sandy just, I mean, the whole thing.
Oh, okay, with popular culture. Okay. I'm like,
yeah.
I couldn't get.
I did the hard left.
Yeah, it was a very hard left. Very hard left. But yeah, one went in hand with the other, and this movie just kind of hasn't really gone away ever. Like I've seen like a play version. I've seen it in the round. I've seen it. And if I was, this is the one show that I wish I would have done when I was younger. I feel like Grease would have been a super fun show to do. I didn't ever get to do.
Who would you want to be?
See, I know that I'm not leading man. I think I would want to be Duty.
Even okay, what if you could like gender bend? Would you always?
Oh, I'd be Rizzo. I'd be Rizzo.
Me too. That's who I'd want to be. Would be Rizzo.
We're going to talk more about Stockard
Yeah,
Channing because she is iconic in this
yeah.
movie. But let's dive into it, shall we? Because like there's so much to talk, about. We have to talk about our very. It's very classic. This opening scene on the beach. Like how dramatic is it? With "Love Is a Many Splendid Thing" playing in the background, and Sandy has to go back to Australia. They're never going to see each other again. It's just so melodramatic. The way it's shot and every look at that hair on both of them actually. That flick and that
Fabulous, sorry,
quiff.
fabulous. You
That's
think that's a piece
fabulous.
he's wearing, or that was his real hair?
No, I think
Still?
that was his hair back then. He was probably rocking a full head of hair. Old Jodtra. But as Danny Zuko says, this isn't the end. It's only the beginning. And we cue groovy titles. The titles always used to be a little bit incongruous to me. Like we go into the animated titles. I'm like, okay, but whatever. I don't know. Just as
This
a
is the
child, that always
word.
stuck
It's the
out to me.
word.
It's the word.
Love,
It's
it's
the
got
word. It's the
meaning.
word. We're not gonna get done for copyright. But anyway, we have that very fabulous song, and then we discover Sandy Alston her parents have decided to remain in America, and she enrolls in her first day at Rydell High. Now, this is probably my first idea of American high school. This movie, very, very
Oh,
misleading. I don't think you burst into song that often, right?
occasionally.
Okay, depending on the school,
Yeah, yeah. Catholic school we did. We'd always, when there was a big fight, we'd be like, "We didn't start the fire."
Is there
You have to do what
choreography
you
as
have to
well?
do. Yeah, of course,
Of
absolutely.
course, of course. Not a bad game.
Darling.
Not a bad game. Of course,
Yes.
there was Corey. But we get to meet Danny, well, the real version of Danny, the high school version of Danny, with his fellow T-Birds. Again, look, the oldest teenagers you'll probably ever see.
Right. I'm like, they all look like they're in their 40s.
But it never bothered me. And it still
No.
doesn't when you watch the movie. I think this movie was filmed in the 70s, based in the 50s. So it's already like this weird time flex of a movie that I don't mind that they're older. And I think especially in the 90s, we were so used to 30-year-olds being on TV playing teenagers. Hello, Beverly Hills 90210. we saw some old teenagers in Beverly Hills and stuff like that. And that's a trend that goes along, that still goes today. We cast these older people as teenagers,
Creepy.
and they're like, oh, okay, no worries. And Sandy meets, of course, one of the best characters of the movie, of the whole franchise, actually, Miss Dee Khan as Frenchie.
Frenchy.
Who doesn't have a soft spot for Frenchie? I would have loved a friend like Frenchie at school. But Frenchie introduces innocent and pure Sandy to the baddest girls in school. And these are the chicks I'd want to hang out with. The pink ladies. That's right.
Even the
Jan.
jackets are better in the second movie.
Yeah, well, it was the 50s, Jeff. We've got to remember it's the 50s. Textiles have come a
Okay.
long way. But
It was only the 60s in the second movie, bitch.
yeah, Marty, Jan, and of course, head pink lady, Miss Stockard Channing Rizzo, meet young Sandy,
Yes.
and they're trying to decide whether she's pink lady material. And we get one of the best lines. You think she could be a pink lady, Jeff? She looks too pure to be pink. Like just anything that Rizzo says in this movie, I'm like, I love it. And you can see just what kind of bitch Rizzo is when we run into Patty Simcox, the bad seed of Rydell High. Hi! Oh, I just love the first day of school, don't you? Isn't the most, to say the least? The very least. I live. Patty Simcox is Americana personified. I think she's meant to be, the
Katie
all-American
McCarthy.
I think Katie McCarthy would have been Patty Simcox, right? We love you, Katie. We love you. But Patty is trying to lure young Sandy away from the bad girls club of the Pink Ladies and let her, or force her pretty much. She doesn't really get much of a choice to become a cheerleader, even though her cartwheel is questionable. But, we can't all have a great cartwheel. But this is where we discover that Sandy met someone at the beach this summer.
Ooh, tell me more.
Cue iconic number. And probably one of the first songs you think about when you hear Grease. Summer Love and Summer Nights, whatever you want to call it. And we get this narrative, this boy-girl narrative, which is amazing. They're just so, and it's so indicative of real life as well. Like, they're like all about the pussy, and the girls are like, "Oh my god, it was so romantic. I love it." And I have to give credit to the background dancers in these. They are in
Oh
it
yeah.
to win it. They are acting their asses off, and they are a part of it. I love it. And again, everyone's so interested, but Rizzo not having it because he sounds like a drag. That kicks her off the seat. I love Miss Rizzo. Is just not interested
She
until
can't be bothered.
at the end of the song, we find out that this all-American nice boy that Sandy knows is actually bad boy leader of the T-Birds, Mr. Sandy Zuko.
Oh.
And this is where Rizzo begins her, I guess, plot. Are we supposed? Do you think we're supposed to not like Rizzo? Do you think that's what they're going for?
I think that was I think that's like the B plot or C plot or D plot, whatever it was kind of buried in. But I think you're supposed to come around to her.
Get to learn and understand the girl that we think that she's just a nasty girl for no reason.
But she's complicated, and that's a thing she'd never do.
That is, yeah. Well, we will talk about that later too. So yes, Rizzo is the like the emphasis, the starting incident. It all happens because of Rizzo. I'm sure they would have met eventually, but she forces the plot. She gets there. She's a driving force and arranges a little reunion at the pep rally. Now, I have jumped the gun on two of my favorite characters in this movie and the next movie.
Oh, please tell me. The principal. Yeah.
We have to talk about Miss McGee and Blanche. I've never seen comic relief better than these two. They are hilarious, and they're only on screen for the shortest amount of time. But every time they are on, I'm just like, what? Blanche is hilarious. And the straight,
She play.
yeah.
Ding.
Yeah. It's like, ding.
Always
they get,
some kind of
they get even, they get even better in the second movie. In the second movie, they get even better. But they are so. I love their kind of out of touchness, but they're very endearing. Where, like, in some of these movies, the teachers are the bad guys. You're like,
I don't listen. I gotta say the principal chick. She gives me flashbacks. Like Dana and I talked about last night on the Dana show with Sister Walter Rand. She reminds me. She kind of reminds me of the nun from middle school. It's a little. She frightens me a little bit. Always, anytime I watch the Grease movies, I'm like, oh, it's the nun.
It's the nun, not the nun.
And there was two nuns. It was Sister Walter Rand and Sister Helen Therese, and those two remind me of them, and they both kind of look like him. It's wild. I'll show you pictures.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
You're gonna die. You're gonna be like, holy shit. Yeah.
I can't wait. So when confronted
they were like two
with
freaking frack like them.
I love it. When confronted with his summertime shenanigans, Danny continues to support his macho ego and basically ignores poor Sandy. What happened to the Danny Zuko I met at the beach? That I do not know. Maybe there's two of us. Check the yellow pages or something.
Bastard.
You're a fake and a phony, and I wish I'd never laid eyes on you. Hey, I bet you that's not all she laid on her, Zook. Like, how this movie is so quotable every day of my life. I think there's something you can take from Grease every day. So poor heartbroken Sandy just doesn't understand why he's being a nasty boy, but what had she never dealt with a man before, obviously, before this point. She's like, girl, they're all trash. You know what you need? You need a good old-fashioned slumber party.
Oh, yes, darling.
Oh, girl. And you can tell, like, we are the gayest of gays. This is one of my favorite parts of the movie.
How can it not be?
I mean, it has two of the most iconic songs in there as well. But we get so much character. We get that Jan's the goofball, brusher, with the new iPad. And do you know who I think you are? Well, actually, no, I lied. Do you know who I would cast as in this? I would cast Luke as Marty. Barbie in Korea with his 700 boyfriends.
It's so.
Why is this one cut in half? Oh, girlfriend was in the picture.
It is so Luke.
It is Luke. I can imagine him with his Chinese silk robe. He's like, oh, yes, I'm living my best life. But we get a lot of information about these girls that could have just been, they could have just been supporting characters, but there's a lot of character in them. We get that Frenchie wants to, she wants to go to beauty school. And
she wants to do hair.
She wants to do hair. She wants to do hair. She wants to make people beautiful. She does that. It's okay. But, before that, we get Sandy having her ears pierced and wild. So why don't you just run I can imagine it's like, why don't you just run the cold water in her ear under the faucet? It is Luke.
It so is.
But Rizzo, who is Bad Girls Club all the way through, can't deal with it because Miss Goody Two Shoes makes me want to barf. I love this song. Stockard Channing, unstoppable force of nature in this as Rizzo. I mean, so good. Just the expressions, everything. And the funny, do you know this was actually filmed the day that Elvis died, this scene?
No.
Yeah. So when they were saying, Elvis, let me be. Yeah. So they just found out. They found out when they were filming this scene.
No way.
Eerie, right?
That's kind of trippy.
Eerie. But poor Sandy walks in on this.
It's so horrible. They're such mean girls.
Yeah. Oh,
they don't
wait.
even
Have I
go
got
to this school.
Yeah, they don't even go to this school. And we do, of course, it's not all bad for Sandy because she gets her moment to shine. Now, Jeff, I know that you love this moment. How gorgeous. She's so gorgeous in this part. I just like, this is my leading memory of Olivia Newton John, I think, is Hopelessly Devoted to You. And I think every tragic romantic has had this song playing on the radio or playing on their phone once or twice going, why is there no love? Why is love
I don't
dead?
know that I've ever attached it to like a real relationship. It's always meant something so much more, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that magic thing to me,
Yeah. And she's
the thing
just
that doesn't
pure.
exist.
Yeah, it's idealized, like
Yeah.
idealized romance, like the all in all, oh my God, I can't live without you thing. But anytime that, it's a nice, I remember I used to, before my voice broke, used to rip this one out for vocal assessments and stuff because, gay.
Hey,
Hey.
help us.
Meanwhile, Miss Rizzo has left the building. She's like out. She sees boys. She sees boys and she
Bye.
has to go. She is out. And yeah, Kaneki sees a good thing coming and jumps on Rizzo. But we of course get the implication that, Rizzo and Danny were a thing once upon a time because she's always going at him, and he goes back at her. So the tumultuous relationship of Rizzo and Danny must have been interesting to see.
What a weird couple they would have been.
I know. Well, she's the bat. I guess it's leader and leader,
Yeah. It's just
the Alpha's.
still.
I don't think he's man enough for her.
No, but that's the same thing with the second one. To picture Michelle Pfeiffer's character with that leader was like, oh no.
Yeah. Oh God, no.
No.
So yeah, the boys get shafted for one Miss Rizzo, and they go to make out point, I guess, and get frisky in the back seat. But we find out her first name is Betty.
So embarrassing.
So embarrassing. And then, at least they try to do the right thing. And the rubber comes out and breaks. I bought it when I was in the 7th grade. It's like, I love it. Like these ultra cool dudes. It's like, oh, I bought it when I was in the 7th grade. Oh. But this is where we meet, some villains in the piece. Leader of the rival gang. Now they are just a gang in this. They're not a motorcycle gang like in the second one, but the Scorpions and one bitch that we're going to talk about later. Oh, we have to talk about her. We're going to. Meanwhile, Danny is trying to win Sandy back. He realizes he's done a bad thing and tries to become an athlete. And I love the wrestling where he's like, don't touch me, I'm not a homo. It's like, whoa. But we find Track. Track is what he's gonna do. So he's gonna run.
What's kind of John's thing, wasn't it? Really, and a bunch of shit that he did with his damn hair.
Yeah.
No homo.
No homo.
He was in big trouble.
So this is part of the trying to win Sandy back moment. They go on a hot little date at the diner when everyone joins in.
Hi, Beth.
Everyone joins in, and then we find out that even now, I think Trouble in Paradise for Rizzo and Kaneki.
It's a calling card.
Hickeys from Kaneki's like a Hallmark card. You only care, said your very best. And again, how about I finish with you when he tries to get on with money? Finish this. Sorry, French. From you to me, Pinky Lee. Throw the milkshake. Sorry, French. I live Rizzo. I just need a Rizzo spin-off movie. A series of spin-off movies. But as everyone disperses, we get the revelation that things are not going too well for poor French at beauty school either.
Oh.
She dyes her hair. Brat, you look like an Easter egg.
And to think, she was just, 70 years ahead of her time.
She was. She could have been a fashion icon. But it just didn't happen. And we get an amazing musical. I appreciate this number more and more. Like every time I see it, it's just so weirdly strange and
Beauty
school dropout. Yeah, how long did it take for you to realize
graduation day?
That was the Pink Ladies? I didn't see it when I was a child. I never saw it. That it was actually the pink ladies in a fantasy scene. I always thought it was just random chicks, and then I'm like,
Oh,
wait, it's them.
I don't. My mother was so upset. I'm pretty sure she would have told me because I remember her like walking me through. Like my mother loved "Hopelessly Devoted to You." Like that was one of her favorites. She loved that part because she loved him. So like that was one of her favorite parts was Beauty School Dropout. So I can remember her like talking me through it and like like, oh, watch this now, watch this. They're gonna do she. This is why I was the kid watching Dallas and Dynasty. Hello.
So, I've just realized my microphone was off. So, of
Yeah,
course,
bitch.
before this, we have the revelation that if you want a hot chick, you gotta get a hot.
Oh!
You
I know, I
gotta
know,
get
I
a
know,
hot
I know, I
car.
know. You need a real pussy wagon.
You do. You do need
Yeah.
a real pussy wagon. Now,
Go grease line, go
forgive
grease
me if
line.
I'm wrong, but I never noticed. Again, when I was a child, pussy wagon or the Chixel cream for grease lightning. Like,
I'm with you. I did not catch it until I was in high school. It
and you're
was
like,
somebody in high school. I think we were trying to do it in choir or something.
yeah,
And we were doing it, and the principal, somebody like else, like in the big, they caught, and they were like, "You guys can't
you
do
can't sing that.
that."
You're like,
They were
why
like,
not?
"Absolutely not." I know. We're like, "What?" And they're like, "Real pussy." I'm like, "Oh,
Oh, right.
my bad."
But they used to play this, and they still do. They play this song at all the Megamix at kids' discos, like kids'
Hmm.
dances and stuff. They play it all the time. I'm like, we just happily ignore that.
They must
Obviously,
cut it out or like do something. They
they
have to.
don't.
Like, how
They
do we
don't.
not notice?
Do you think it's we just give this movie is that classic that we just give it a little? We're like,
We
whatever.
don't hear it. I think it.
Yeah,
Well, even like when we talked, we did the last show we did. Right, was outrageous fortune. The
yeah.
things that we don't pick up on in
Until
different
later.
times. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's wild, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, this is where things get exciting again because National Bandstand is coming to Rydell High. Forward to hand jive, baby. We get the big, big dance number. Look at Daddy and Sandy killing it. Look at it. Oh yeah.
It's
I love
very
it.
Saturday night.
Very Saturday Night Fever, right?
Yeah.
Very Saturday Night Fever. But all the couples are back together, except Rizzo has brought Leo well, technically, she's part of a throuple. So Rizzo's ahead of her time because she's with the Scorpions leader, but she also brings in this bitch. Cha-Cha
Whoa.
G. Gregorio, the best dancer at St. Bernadette's, with the worst reputation.
So much trouble.
Again, who Danny knows. Danny's a bit of a man whore, we're finding out, because he knows that a family friend, apparently, we say, but I don't know. I don't buy it, Danny. I don't buy it, Mr. Zuko.
I mean, you just look at them. Let's just be honest. I understand it's the 1950s. Maybe women had a different perspective. But I don't see that man walking around with like $3 and change in his pants. You know what I'm saying? Like that man's maybe working with like $1 in quarters.
It's all about how
$1.50,
cool
maybe.
you are. They're meant
I
to be
don't care. No,
teenagers,
it's
remember?
not. I
They're meant
don't
to be
care.
teenagers.
No.
No.
We still,
Jeffrey
we
says
still need to
no.
have a lot of quarters. In high school, I was still a high school, and I still wanted a lot of quarters.
We're not all as whorish as you, Jeff. It's funny.
My name's not Luke.
But what about Vince Fontaine and Marty? Do we think this is creepy now in retrospect? The TV host who is obviously like, do you think he's meant to be like 40?
Jane Cook?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Oh.
he's meant to be 40,
Mhm.
and then Marty's just like in the background of everything, just trying to get
But
that ding.
again, that would have been normal in the 50s.
Exactly.
It would not. Nobody would have blinked at it. That's the crazy shit. The times were different.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
Times have changed, and I don't know if you can do what they used to do. You can't just cut in the middle of a dance competition and steal someone's partner.
Could you imagine if they
Cha-cha.
still had those? Cha-cha.
Cha-cha de Gregorio. I'll tell you what, though, bitch can dance. Bitch can dance. I will give her that.
Okay,
I
so
don't think.
she can hand jive and she can slide
Yeah,
through somebody's legs.
she can do more than hand drive. I'm sure by the looks of it. She can hand something else too. She that kind of girl. She's from the wrong side of the tracks. She's from the wrong side of the tracks.
She's probably got carpal tunnel now.
Probably.
Just
And we also get the iconic Blue Moon scene here as well. with the T-Birds ending the transmission of the show by mooning the audience.
Oh,
I love
Blue
it. The next,
Moon.
yeah, Blue Moon. That's the song that's playing as they
Took
moon the
me a
audience.
second.
You saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. I love that the next scene, Miss McGee's like, we have members of the FBI who are gifted in this form of identification, searching for you as we speak. There's a butt analysis on the FBI team.
Like, how does one get that job?
I don't know. I feel like that.
But just for grown men, not teenagers, for
Not
grown
for teenage
men.
boys, grown men.
No, sexy grown men only.
Very specific. Very specific.
Yes, like hot grown men, preferably rich, not too hairy, not real pasty white.
You know.
Yeah.
Man with plan. But look, Sandy's a glutton for punishment because she again agrees to go out with Danny after, twice. They go to the drive-in, and he tries to give her his ring and elbows her in the tit. Poor girl. That looked like it hurt too. I was like, Jesus Christ. But he's a teenage boy and he's only thinking of one thing. And when he tries his moves, she is not having it. Not having it. She gets stranded at the drive-in. Branded a fool. This is so Elvis, right?
Really is.
So Elvis. I have very fond memories of this song, though, or very fond song association, because I sang this song to get into my full-time performing arts course. So
I just remember going to the drive-ins and we had the same fucking things that would play in the background, the cartoon, like for the
so you're like, where's the swing set? Where's the swing set? Oh, Sandy, baby. I love a drive-in. We've only got one drive-in like close by.
There's one. Oh, it'll be closed in October.
Oh, we actually went and saw Grease there once. Grease and Grease too.
Oh, it might be open though for how I don't. We'll find out.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Yeah, maybe.
That could be fun. So this is also a very important moment for one Miss Betty Rizzo. Because rumor went around at the dance that Rizzo, she thought she was pregnant at the dance, but this is where the Rizzo rumor goes into full drive. Rizzo's PG, pass it on. I love the gossip chain that they start at the snack shack. By the time they're around the corner, the gossip is out. It's just so indicative of teenage life. It's like, right, cool, awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know what, Jeff? There are worse things she could do.
Mm-hmm. They go with a boy or two.
Now, this
even
for
though
me,
the neighborhood
this for me.
Trashy.
Oh, he's off. This for me is one of the better parts of the movie. there's so much that happens. Like, you get to see so much in this one song. You get to see that this girl isn't just this big, tough, like, ugh. You get to see that she does what she does so she doesn't get hurt, that she is hurt, that she's fragile, that she wants love. And this all happens in the space of this little tiny musical interlude. And she even lets her guard down to Sandy a little bit here, which is nice. Like, we start to see the softening of Rizzo, and I really enjoy it. I think that Stockard, she's the MVP on this cast. I don't think it would be the same without her.
It's,
She's amazing.
I remember, I don't know, you guys probably didn't see it because Broadway's over here, but so Rosie O'Donnell was in the Grease cast, right? And she was like the star, so they promoted the living hell out of her. So in the commercials, Rosie O'Donnell would be on there, Grease, you've seen it once, you've seen it twice, you gotta go see it. Grease, 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 Grease. And she was playing Rizzo. So I never actually went and listened to like her sing or watch any clip.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's just not the same. I love Rosie, but it's just not, because she, Rosie admittedly is not a strong singer. Yeah, so, and she'd be, she's like, I'd be talking to people in the audience in the middle of the show. And I'm like, that would so be me, right? I'd be so out of my mind.
Stand up, Rosie.
Doing the same part, 8 shows a week. I'd be like, hey, Jenny, how are you? There's worse things. Yeah. But yeah, Stalker, like the way she sang it, the way it was done, there's something to it compared to any other performance I've heard.
I've seen two famous people do Rizzo, and that they did quite well. I saw Dannii Minogue do Rizzo. She was quite good as Rizzo. And I've also seen clips of Lucy Lawless as Rizzo on Broadway. And she was good, because Lucy Lawless is that kind of,
yeah. I could see her doing a good
anyway.
Job. Yeah,
she's got chops. She can sing. So
yeah, I've heard her singing some clips.
She's amazing. She's got a good voice. Now,
well, she's got that.
We don't really talk about the race because the gays don't care about the car racing. We just care about the emotional ballads and the dance numbers. But there is, of course, the Thunder Road race, where we're going to find out who gets ownership of Grease Lightning. Cha-Cha's back. Ugh.
Nobody cares.
What did she give him? A lock of hair from her chest. So, after Kaniki gets knocked unconscious by the car door in a bit of a slapstick, Danny has to race at Thunder Road.
Oh, Danny.
And ends up winning. Danny wins. As Sandy, poor fragile Sandy, looks on, because she loves the boy. Who knew? She actually, as big as a douchebag as he is, she sees the good side in him. Bless her.
No good side. He's an asshole.
He's an asshole. He'll break your heart. It doesn't matter because Sandy's got a plan and she needs Frenchie's help. As we get a little reprise of Sandra Dee. Goodbye to Sandra Dee. Goodbye. Because it's graduation day at the end of all this. And yes. We get the emotional Miss McGee. Oh, Blam, stop blubbering. I love
with you.
And we've seen the fact that, our lovely, lovely, lovely casts have changed and grown. Danny Zuko has lettered in track. He's applied himself. He's more than just a greasy boy. And there's been one other big change as well. Besides the fact that Rizzo's not pregnant.
I wonder what could it be, Steve? Do we have a photo?
Oh, tell me about it.
There was a makeover?
There was the makeover to end all makeovers. Let's be honest. When we think Grease, this is what we think. We think of Olivia Newton John sewed into those pants. How hot must have they been dancing in the sun? Oh, in all black.
That had to suck.
But look at how tiny they both are.
Oh yeah.
They weren't eating those hamburgers on set, that's for sure.
They both looked great.
Yeah, that looked amazing. And come on, that's the song you think of when you think of this movie. Like that's the mental image that comes up is them all in black walking around the fun house and dancing, and they're like, oh, they go fuck. That's what it is. It's foreplay in a song. They ain't gonna fuck. But Sandy's
If I
back
had
there
a
now.
quarter for every time I saw a drag queen and a drag king do that in drag, I could be retired.
Now, what do you think of the criticism of this movie now that in the modern day that Sandy shouldn't have to change herself to appeal to Danny?
It's a movie made in the late 70s about the 50s. Give me a fucking break. Get over it. Like, I mean, come on. Like, it blows my mind that we can't have context to the situation and the time frame in which it came from.
Right.
Hello.
And I mean, in reality,
Oh, it's bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
Speaking from experience, sometimes, in relationships, people do change who they are to be with someone. Yeah?
Yeah, but I mean, that particular movie situation was absolute bullshit.
I don't remember the last time I sewed myself into a pair of lycra pants for a guy.
No.
Maybe that's the problem.
Or took off in a floating car.
Yeah, well, we're about to get there because we get our big emotional. This always puts a smile on my face, this last part, when everyone's back together, we're having a dance there. Because what if it's graduation? What if they never see each other again?
Well, they all died in an attack.
An attack. My God. But we do get, what man boom. And Olivia and John fly away.
Because they're dead. Because
then, yes, if you believe the legends, they are dead at the end of the movie. And it's a bit sadly.
I don't even think that's John Travolta. Look at the back of that. That does not look like him. Yeah, it doesn't really
look like him, does it?
No, it does not.
So we're gonna farewell Miss Olivia Newton John there, and I've got to ask Jeffrey, what do you give Grease? How many leather jackets are you going to give Grease out of 5? What's the count? What's the count?
Oh, it gets 5.
5 straight up.
Yep, 5. It's
5.
Grease, man.
I don't think there's anything wrong with this movie. I think it's close to a perfect movie, actually. At no time in this movie do I ever go, oh, I'm bored. When it's on TV, like it's on TV, and especially lately, it's been on TV a lot because of Olivia. But if it's on TV, I will sit at least watch 20 minutes, 25 minutes, if not the whole thing, and go, oh, I love this.
Even my kids, we just watched. I think I was messaging you that one day or whatever. We watched Grease 1 and Grease 2, and they were enthralled by it. And that's like the first, because it's the only musical that I'm into. I don't get down with Chicago or what's the other one, Rent or whatever the other ones that have been. I don't. No. Grease is it for me. Thank you.
I think that's probably the appeal for it too. It's a cool musical. It's not.
It doesn't sound so musically.
Yeah. The songs are more mass appeal, and it's fun. This movie's just fun. Yeah. Who doesn't have fun when you watch Grease? Like, I can go through and quote it like no one's business. It's that kind of movie where you just want to sit there, which is why, the sing-along version is so popular and why the movie has lasted so long. Like, it's came out in 1978 and we're still talking about it today. Off a budget of $6 million, this movie at the box office grossed $366.2 million.
Adjusted for inflation.
A monster. That's a monster hit. And it does puzzle me, but I guess they weren't really late 70s. It wasn't really a sequel world, was it? We didn't really have sequels. A lot of
No.
sequels to.
No, it's
It would
sequels
have
then
been
were, if they did have them, were trash.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see what happened to this cast as they got older, but of course, we did have Grease 2, whether you love Grease 2 or not. We did have Grease 2. I think we've shown our hand on Grease 2, and I've had a request from another cast member that they would like to be on the Grease 2 panel when we get to Grease 2.
Well, and the
But the
shitty thing
love
is they could have done a Grease 2 from the original movie. In the last
yeah,
20 years before anything happened. You know what I mean? But
before
if
we
you
started
saw,
losing the cast, yeah.
did you see, oh God, it was only, I think it was like 2017. Her and John, and he put the toupee on, and they were in, I think it was Florida. And
Yeah.
they got together and they sang the songs, and they both
Yeah.
looked great. And a bunch of the cast, like, it was such a,
It was cute. It was bittersweet, I think it was.
You couldn't watch it and not feel
nostalgic and love
and happy. Like there was just some kind of weird, like, and it was a great.
It's got I think this movie has a very special place in time as well, just for especially for people our age, that elder millennial, or anyone that grew up in the 90s as well when it had its resurgence. You've got because I know people that are younger than that now that have never seen Grease. I'm like, what? How have you never seen Grease? There's been rumors. There's been rumors for years upon years upon years about Grease 3. Now, I remember this discussion going on back in the late 90s, hardcore, when Justin and Britney were dating, that they were going to be starring in Grease 3 together.
Oh, God.
And they would have gone back to Sandy and Danny, like they would have been some kind of relation and blah, 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 blah. So that never happened, but Grease is still the word because there is not one, but 2 TV shows happening very, very soon. Now, originally, Grease Rydell High was the show that was going to come out on HBO Max, as it says there.
The idea did that just get canned?
No, it has shifted now. It's actually 2 separate shows. So we're getting a prequel series that deals with the characters of Sandy and Danny in the summer. So it's like a limited series called Summer Lovin'. But the one that is in production right now and is coming to us apparently this year is Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies. Now, this actually happens years and years before the movie. Everyone, the Miss McGee is in there as a younger woman. She just becomes, I think, a teacher at the school. She's not principal, and it's a couple of generations before our Pink Ladies take control.
Are they gonna be singing in the show?
Yep, they're musical. It's going to be a musical show. It's fully cast. It is filming now. So, Grease: Rise of the Pink Ladies is coming, which will be interesting. And apparently, rumor has it that we will get some cameos and stuff like that. But eventually, if the show does have legs, the original Pink Ladies will be introduced as freshmen, and we will see them go through to their senior year, which is cool. It could be cool. Could be very cool. We'll have to wait and see. But 5 popcorns, 5 leather jackets, 5 Grease lightnings for me as well. I think you can't go wrong with Grease. You never can go wrong with Grease. If you need to pick me up, you just need to jump in there, put Grease on, watch it. We did this for Olivia, so thank you, Olivia Newton John, for giving us Sandra Dee. I don't think it would have been the same with, Marie Osmond or whoever else they were trying to get in there. Ooh. Yeah, a lot of people auditioned for Sandy, but John Travolta said it had to be her. It had to be Olivia, and I think he was right. So thank you, John. I think I'm really actually quite sad for him. He's lost a lot of people lately, and he was very close to her, and he's lost her as well. The cast have been the surviving cast have been very supportive and sent lovely messages out.
He's losing all his fag hags.
So yeah, We hope you enjoy Grease. If there is a movie you want us to talk about, and look, it has been Jeffrey and I back to back, but there's some other people that are coming on to talk about different movies. So if you want to chat about a movie and you're an expert in a movie, why don't you get in contact with us and you could be joining the panel and having a chat too. Thank you for joining me today, Mr. Jeffrey Emmett. It has been a pleasure as always. And we will see you again very, very soon here at Assigned Seating. Bye, guys. Keep cool until you're a cool rider. Hey.